Before we go further, let's tidy up the place a bit. So create a new group from the selection and call these helpers. And then I will select these 3 items and create a new group from selection and call this model. Okay, now let me show you what we are going to build together. So in my ready application, I'm going to have the main area here where I can see all the orders, and then we're going to divide it into 2 sections: the active orders, which are not completed yet, and then the completed orders, which will be completed once we finish them. And then once you click on any of the order, active or completed, it should take you to the order details view, where you are going to have your customer name, your order items. Here will be the drinks, and then you can click on complete order, which is going to update your order. Now you don't see the customer name because our order here, if I go to my database, the customer name is empty, and also it's false, but that's why we see it under active. As is completed is false, that's why we see it under active orders. And here we're going to also put our customer name instead of our order ID, which you can see here, it corresponds to our order ID. Also, you can see that there is a bug currently. I click on my cell and nothing happens, and this bug happens only in simulator. So let's just get rid of it. Since I have no other cells here to select that one and get back to for it to work, let me just rerun. Oops, I actually ran the wrong application. I had to run my ready application here. So once I click the user name here, it should take me to a user profile where I can see all the information about my user, because I need to know where to send the order. So we have the username, the email address, phone number in case if we want to contact, and the address where we need to send the delivery. So let's start from the first view, and in order to show the information to our user, we need to create a listener that will keep listening for all the new orders, because we want to be updated in real time as soon as there is a new order are placed by our users. So for this to work, we are going to create a new Swift file and call this order listener. And here, this is actually very similar to one of the files that we have already created. So let me go and open my iCoffee here. And let's go to our basket listener. I want to copy everything from here, and returning to my order listener, I want to paste it here. Just here on top, I'm going to call this order listener. Okay, and now we are going to fix this code according to our needs. And what we need is to return 2 types of items. The first one is going to be our active orders, and the second one is going to be our completed orders. So I'm going to call the first one active orders, and this is going to be array of order items. And then I'm going to copy this, and instead of active, I'm going to call this completed orders. Okay, so we have to return to our I forgot to rename here, order listener will return active orders and completed orders. Then we have this download function. Let's call it download order instead of basket. Copy and paste it here. In our Firebase reference, I'm going to get rid of this fuser thing now, because right now we have no user object, so we don't need this. And let's fix our indentation. So we are accessing our Firebase reference, and I need to access my orders, where field is not actually required because we want to get all the orders. So this one I'm removing. I would say Firebase reference order, and we want to add a snapshot listener. So we want to keep listening if there are new orders. And then we have guard in order there are no snapshots. Then again, we are checking if the snapshot is empty. And if it's not empty, what we want to do is set these two arrays into empty, because we are going to add the items to them right now. So we say self.active orders is equals to empty array, self.completed orders is equals to empty array. And then this is not required anymore. What I'm going to do is to have a for loop, because before, remember, we are getting only our each user were supposed to have only one basket, but now we have received all the orders here, and we want to use all the orders. So I'm going to put a for loop here. We say order in snapshot documents. So for every order that we get from our Firebase, what we want to do is to convert or to create an order item using our key value pairs that we have in our Firebase. And if I go to my Firebase, remember our order has just the string IDs, but that we are saving on Firebase. But what we want to return in our order item, we want to have string items themselves. So this is exactly the same thing we did with our basket listener, where we get the drinks from Firebase. So let me cut this part, come to my for loop, and first I need to say let order data is equals to my order, which is the order here, and say data, which is the key value pairs. And once we have access to this order data, I can paste my get drinks from Firestore, which is the function here. And then here we are going to pass our order data. And then the key is k drink IDs, because this is where we are saving it, drink IDs. And what this function will do is, using the drink IDs, it will get all the drinks and retrieve it to us, so we can put it into our order. And all we need to do here is, I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to create a new order item. And then I'm going to say order customer ID is equals order data. And then I want to use the k customer ID as string. And then we say order.id is equals to order data KID as string. Order items are equals to the all items we have received after we are downloaded our items from our Firebase. Then we say order.amount is equals to order data k amount, and this is as double. Then we have order.customer name is equals to order data k customer name as string, or if there are no values, we can put an empty string here if it's nil, for example. And finally we say order is completed is equals to order data k is completed as bool, or we just put false. These two I'm giving a default values in order not to crash. This is in case if you haven't added these two extra parameters for our current order. Otherwise, we are not going to have any issues, but it's better to have a default values for it now. And finally, once we have created our order, we need to understand to which of the two arrays to assign it, active or completed. So here I will put a simple if statement saying if order is completed, and then we put an else. So if it's completed, I'm going to say self.completed orders append order. Otherwise, I will copy this, paste it here, and say self.active orders, and we're going to active orders, and we're going to append it to our active orders. And let me just get rid of some extra spaces here. And this second function we're not going to touch because it does exactly what we need. It takes the IDs of our drinks and retrieve the drink objects for us so we can put it into our order. So we have our order listener, and in our next lecture we can use them to create this view here and populate it with our information.